It's been 13 years since Ubisoft released what is probably their most beloved game ever, 2013's Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, a grand pirate adventure set in the Caribbean and in the early 18th century, the golden age of piracy. It was hailed not only as a great addition to an already iconic franchise, but as arguably the greatest pirate game of all time, a title that, in my opinion, is yet to be contested. I played Black Flag when it first came out, back when I was way too young to be playing such a mature video game. I could gush about the original Black Flag forever, but suffice it to say, it is still my favorite Assassin's Creed game, and I have played all of them. Every single one. Honestly, at the time, it was probably my favorite game I had ever played. Along with Minecraft, yeah, I was one of those kids. Black Flag holds a really special place in my heart. So when the remake was announced, I was truly terrified. Ubisoft's recent track record did not instill me with confidence that they could do this remake justice. I was so scared that Ubisoft were now about to ruin the legacy of the greatest game they had ever made. So, did they? Well, I've been playing through the first few hours of Black Flag Resynced since as soon as it came out, and I have some strong opinions. So sit back, relax, and let's talk about how Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced holds up to its original. At first glance, the most obvious difference between this game and the original is the graphics. Black Flag itself was released on a last-gen console even back in 2013. It was on the PS3. I had one of those when I was a small child. Seriously though, Black Flag was very technically impressive for its time, and as it should be after nearly a decade and a half, Resynced truly does deliver from a visual standpoint. The world feels immersive, the environments are lush, and the character models are sharper, the animations are cleaner. I particularly enjoy the fight takedowns. They're almost enough to make me forget that the classic AC counter kills have been dead for a decade. I would have loved to have seen counter kills return one last time, although the new sweep kills are pretty cool. Overall, the graphics and visuals aren't particularly impressive for 2026, and they're not a huge step up from the more recent AC games, but they are a great improvement over the original. They're at about the level I would have expected. The game itself is almost identical to the original from a narrative perspective. The original dialogue is still there. I found myself mouthing along to a lot of the more iconic lines. Even I was surprised by how much I remembered. Although there are some additional lines of dialogue here and there, I love that they brought back the original voice actors to record the new lines. I've only played a few hours, so I'm not sure how the entire game will go, but so far, pretty much every scene is identical to the game I remember from my childhood, with the differences being pretty obvious but not immersion breaking. It's mostly just when they're trying to reconcile with the slightly new game mechanics and the different game engine. I have heard there are more significant changes later on in the game, but I haven't made it that far yet, and nothing I've seen is particularly egregious. Gameplay-wise, this is the most Assassin's Creed feeling Assassin's Creed game since Syndicate. It feels way more like the early games than anything Ubisoft has made in the last decade. While elements from the RPG games remain, Resynced really feels more like they're trying to remake the old game with a new engine rather than trying to force their modern engine and gameplay style onto an older game. Some things feel a bit off. The movement is a lot clunkier than in the original. The combat is more RPG-like and less fluid, although again, I love that they included an insta-kill your enemy combo, even if it is different from the original counter kills. But the parkour, oh my god, the parkour! This is the best parkour system we've had in an AC game, probably since Unity. It's not perfect. It's not the Black Flag system, but it's still so much better than the recent games, even Mirage. Finally, a game where you don't just run at a wall and press A. The parkour is still a lot easier than in the original game, with less puzzle climbs and complex movement, at least from what I've seen so far. but we have wall ejects and some kind of side eject, and we have a jump button, an actual jump button. Just that is honestly more than I expected when I first launched the game. My Xbox controller started acting up after a while, and I had to spend a lot of time playing with the keyboard and mouse, which certainly diminished my experience, but I got over it. Just the fact that I was climbing on ships, rigging, assassinating sailors from impossibly high up made me so happy and nostalgic. Just like when I first played Black Flag, I just couldn't help myself from getting into every single ship battle I could. All the little details that I figured would be missing in this game are still there. You can still hire pirates and courtesans to distract guards. We can still use the puckle gun in ship battles. I've been sailing the open seas, ramming Spanish ships to oblivion. I haven't progressed far enough to see this yet, but apparently the fort attacks are still there, as are the sleep and berserk darts. Those were some of my favorite parts of the original. I remember spending hours attacking forts all over the Caribbean, using berserk darts to get enemies to take each other out. I even loved that they kept the annoying follow missions. Hits me right in the feels. And I do appreciate the auto follow button that keeps you at the same pace as the person you're following. Makes me feel more like I'm watching a cutscene or a conversation. I'm kind of sad that this seemed to have abandoned the modern day plotline, but I guess it makes sense for a remake that's supposedly set in a different experience in a universe. I do hope future games can give us some modern day experiences. So what do I think? Black Flag Resynced at times makes me feel like I'm playing a remaster rather than a remake. And I mean this in the best way possible. It's not new mechanics or graphics that got me smiling, it's the fact that I can run through Havana and Nassau as Edward Kenway for the first time in 13 years. It's making me feel like I'm just a kid on my PS3 again. What more could I ask for? The game's not perfect, but looking back at Ubisoft's recent track record, it's pretty much everything that I could have hoped for. And it certainly seems popular. It's getting good reviews. The nostalgia's hitting just right. It sold 2 million copies in the first 24 hours. A lot of that is probably due to the fact that it's Black Flag. I mean, that's why I immediately had to try it. But Resynced is still a strong game in its own right. Like how nobody asked for a remake of Harry Potter just for a washed up billionaire author to make more money in stupid political statements. But this, despite the fact that it's obviously a cash grab, I can get behind it. You can clearly tell there was actual care put into this remake. Personally, it's making me hope we eventually get remakes of other early AC games. AC1, the Ezio trilogy, bring it on. I would recommend Black Flag Resynced, whether you're an old fan looking to relive the good old days, or someone who's never experienced this masterpiece of a game before. Just maybe wait till it's on sale or something, even though I will admit $60 is honestly not terrible for a game of this scale in the current market. If you make sure to stay away from any and all microtransactions, Ubisoft doesn't even seem that predatory for this. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this game. Tell me in the comments if you feel the same or if you've got any complaints. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you like hearing my voice, and I promise I'll make more videos very soon. Now I gotta get back to playing this game. Bye!